So the DD2 second chance heat about to get underway over a duration of 10 minutes plus an additional lap. Let's have a look at the running order of it. So Cosimo Francesco Durante from Italy will be partnered by the Netherlands' McNulton on the front row. Maxime Deriche from Belgium and Mario Saban will be alongside on row 2. Then you've got Robert Schopian and Leo Kirschenbauer in the 477 and the 479 respectively. Germany's Long Seifried in the 439 will be joined by the 494 of Matic Kolmanic. Then we got Zane Menesi on the 425 in 9th, ahead of the Netherlands' Luc Schiepers in the number 437, with Piquet's Competitions, Jimmy Chaumier from France in the 482, having to do, as they say, a top gear from the rear. Let's see if the number 482 can make his way up into the top 6 in this race, because that then automatically guarantees post-race that you have managed to get yourself up into the finals here in Italy. But it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. And when the drivers have such significant competition here today, it will be a case of seeing who does their level best and puts it all on the line, ready for the finals later on. And the finals, as always, we have a bit of pomp and circumstance when we see all the carts on their trolleys with the drivers and mechanics make their way onto the start grid. But now we're about to get things going here in Italy for what is set to be an absolutely brilliant battle. It might be 11 competitors, but it's going to be highly charged. So we have Durante, Knowlton, Didish, Saban, Schopian, Kirschenbauer, Seifried, Kolmanic, Menesi, Schiepers and Chaumier. That is your 11-strong lineup here in DD2. 10 minutes on the clock plus an additional lap. About to count down the minute the lights go out on the starting gantry. Into the tram lines we go. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights out, and they're off and racing. And a good start by Mick Knowlton to already sweep round the outside of Durante going into turn 1 for the first time. But the Italian has other ideas. Looks for the opportunity to go up the inside. Robert Schopian now up into 4th position. And that is behind, more than likely, Mario Saban, or maybe even Maxime Deriche as they head their way into turn 5 for the first time. Nice and tight on the apex as Schopian getting a little bit into a tussle there with Maxime Deriche. They're trying to swap positions, but the German has the upper hand over the Belgian at the moment, as now it's side by side between Deriche and Schopian once again for 4th place. But Schopian still stays ahead. But Mick Knowlton will bring them out of the final hairpin, up towards the left-hand kink. And he's got Cosimo Francesco Durante behind. So at the moment, it's the Netherlands leading the way after 1 lap. And that's how close the field is. And between first and second, it was 0.064 between Knowlton and Durante. But on this particular occasion, Knowlton holds on to the lead. Luc Schiepers past Jimmy Chaumier to round at the top 10. Maxime Deriche is ahead of Laurent Seifried. And Seifried's got someone charging up his inside, and that was Leo Kirschenbauer from Austria from KSB Racing. But Seifried will try his level best to get back past. And then you've got Kirschenbauer and Kolmanic just behind as it's all kicking off. Everyone's squabbling over the same bit of tarmac, and no one's wanting to give an inch. No one's going to take a mile. But at the moment, Knowlton keeping it very much under control at the minute, as Seifried trying to get back up onto level pegging with Maxime Deriche. So Laurent Seifried is the one that is going to be in the danger zone, and Leo Kirschenbauer can strike at a moment's notice. But the top 2 starting to break away. So Knowlton has a gap of about 0.2 of a second, and then you have a 4-way scrap for 4th place as Seifried looked up the inside of Deriche, and there goes Kirschenbauer up the inside. It's Austria versus Germany all over again. But the good thing was is that Seifried had that real good purchase coming out of turn 5 and just nailed the throttle on the comp cart, and it launched him forward. And that basically said to Leo Kirschenbauer, if you're going to get past me, you've got to do it better than that. So 7.5 minutes remaining, and still having gotten into the lead off of the front row of the grid, Mick Knowlton started second, now in first position ahead of Cosimo Francesco Durante. Mario Saban rounds out the top 3 ahead of Robert Schopian, Maxime Deriche, Laurent Seifried. Leo Kirschenbauer, Zayn Menesi, Matic Kolmanic, Luke Sheepers and Jimmy Chaumier. And again, Kirschenbauer trying to get past Seyfried, but Seyfried still hanging on to that 6th position. And also, Seyfried does have some track knowledge. He's actually raced here previously in international events held here, especially of Rotax origin here in Adria. So he has got some credence, and he has competed in Rotax for many a year, as Lawrence Seyfried. He's also been a mechanic over the past couple of seasons when I've seen him walking around the paddock, but now he's got a lot of daylight between himself and Leo Kirschenbauer. So Seyfried looks to be a little bit safer, but he's got to hang on to it for the next 6.5 minutes. But Mick Knowlton still leading the way, and Cosimo Francesco Durante still doing his best to try and keep in touch, but is 2 tenths off as Matic Kolmanic has dropped behind Luke Sheepers. So Sheepers, from Sheepers Racing on the Kart Republic chassis, now up into 9th place. So at the moment, top 6 with just over 6 minutes to go on the clock plus an additional lap. It is Mick Knowlton, Cosimo Francesco Durante, Mario Saban, Germany's Robert Chopin, Maxime de Riche from Belgium, and Germany's Lawrence Seyfried. So the biggest representation of Germany, 2 drivers in the top 6 in the second chance heat. So you can see a little bit of a look over both shoulders there by Lawrence Seyfried going across the start-finish line, because now Leo Kirschenbauer was actually a little bit quicker on that particular occasion, has caught back up again. The gap was 4.5 tenths, and now from out of nowhere, Leo Kirschenbauer has started to close on the German for that final and most important 6th position. And I can understand this completely, that any driver outside of the top 6 wants to be, at least if they're not in 6th position, they want to be there. And now Seyfried trying to get past Maxime de Riche for 5th position, and that gives them a bit of breathing space. And you can see that Seyfried going to the left, going to the right, trying to make his move and try and open that window of opportunity. And going through the final corner, he's going to have a really good run on Maxime de Riche. Kirschenbauer is just behind by about a couple of kart lengths as they hurtle their way through T1. But Mick Knowlton has just put in the fastest lap of anybody. And it looks like De Riche is not willing to give up that 5th place. That's going to get a bit frustrating for Lawrence Seyfried on that particular occasion. But Leo Kirschenbauer just staying rather calm. And there's the move by Seyfried on De Riche. And he gets the job done. And there goes Kirschenbauer up the inside as well. So in a couple of corners, Maxime de Riche has got a fight on his hands. So that drops him from 5th to 7th in 2 respective corners. So Mick Knowlton still leading and trying to keep Cosimo Francesco Durante at bay. And what's more important, ladies and gentlemen, is that where they end up being classified is where they will start the respective finals. And it looks like Zayn Menesi is also trying to challenge Maxime de Riche, who's actually dropped off the tails of both Seyfried and Kirschenbauer, and now they're squabbling over 5th position. So it's a bit about bragging rights here as they hurtle their way through the left-hander at turn 4 into 5. Then next up is going to be the right-hander at 6. So you can see here that Seyfried's really trying to nail that apex cleanly. Through into 7, now into the left-hander at 8. And you've got the next left-hander here at 9 before 10, and then 11. So the good thing is that these drivers really are doing their level best to move forward with 3.25 minutes still to go. The gap has been extended by Mick Knowlton over Cosimo Francesco Durante to nearly 6 tenths of a second. Mario Saban, Robert Chopin, Lawrence Seyfried and Leo Kirschenbauer round out the top 6 positions. Maxime de Riche has fallen off a cliff right now, unfortunately, and is 4.5 tenths behind. But looks to be trying to... it looks to have gotten a bit of a second wind there, has Maxime de Riche, I believe, and is starting to push forward. And what's more, his Sheepers Racing teammate, Luke Sheepers... oh, that's a lot of Sheepers in there. That's a bit sheepish, isn't it? Sorry, there's a bit of a pun there. That's the British humour, unfortunately. But Luke Sheepers is closing and has got to within 6 tenths of Maxime de Riche. So de Riche falling by the wayside, and unfortunately his chance of getting into the top 6 will not be happening, I'm afraid. But the top 6 have still remained the same, and there have been personal bests from Lorenz Seyfried, Leo Kirschenbauer and Maxime Derich on that last lap. We're on to lap number 10. And it looks like there has been a little bit of contact through some, and you can see now that Maxime Derich hasn't even given up yet. Look, look how close he's gotten on to Leo Kirschenbauer. Maxime Derich did a personal best, but has really found something, and it looks like there might have been a little bit of contact between the pair of them. But that just goes to show how hard these drivers are pushing. They do say that rubbing is racing, but karting is a non-contact sport. But this is where things are going to get dicey, and this is where the main focus is going to be, because Mick Knowlton, Cosimo Francesco Durante, Mario Saban and Robert Chopian are all in the safe zone at the moment. And at the minute, Lorenz Seyfried is the one that is trying to do his level best to keep Leo Kirschenbauer behind, but they're safe at the moment. The person that was safe is the one that's trying to chase them down, and that's Maxime Derich. And at the moment, out of those 3, Lorenz Seyfried was the quickest, but not by much. Less than I think it was the best part of 7 100ths or 7 100ths of a second cover these top 3 in terms of last lap pace. We're into the last 60 seconds. And now this is where things will get interesting, because we'll go on to the penultimate lap, and as soon as people get the last lap board, that's the hurry up sign. So that could give the motivation to Leo Kirschenbauer to maybe do a manoeuvre on Lorenz Seyfried. But it's just dependent on how quickly things change. But Mick Knowlton is fast on his way. It's a Sunday morning stroll for the Dutchman from GKS Lemons Power. It's got a gap of nearly 1.1 seconds over Cosimo Francesco Durante, running on the Tony Kart chassis in the 417. Saban, Chopian, and now again, here is Kirschenbauer trying to put pressure on Seyfried for that 5th position. And Derich is trying to close up on them. Kirschenbauer looks a bit more planted in the brakes, but Seyfried looks a bit better on carrying the momentum through the corners. As now the timer strikes 0. So next time, last lap board will be out for Mick Knowlton. We'll go on to the 13th and final lap of this race. And what's more, he will have a little bit of a breathe. He'll be able to take a bit of a breath, compose himself, and just keep pushing forward, because when you're in the lead and you've got that amount of a gap, you'll look over your shoulder and you'll see where they are in proximity. But the top 4 look pretty much assume that they're going to be where they are, but 5th and 6th is where I'm keeping my interest, and I have done for the past few laps, as Kirschenbauer still trying to get past Seyfried, but Seyfried very much hanging on that Comp Kart chassis. FM Racing now having alliance with Comp Kart Germany, who are the official fluoro suppliers in the karting world over in that part of continental Europe. But very shortly, Mick Knowlton comes out of the final corner, and it's a win for the Dutchman here in the second chance heat, promoting him to the finals later on. Cosimo Francesco Durante, Mario Saban, Robert Chopian, Lorenz Seyfried hangs on for 5th position ahead of Leo Kirschenbauer from Austria. Maxime Derich, it was close, but no cigar unfortunately for the 499. Luke Sheepers made a good run, going up to 8th at the end ahead of Matic Kormanic, Zayn Menessi and Jimmy Chaumier from France. But Mick Knowlton, it hasn't been an easy weekend for the 403 from the Netherlands, but that just shows he's not out of the fight quite yet. So expect some fireworks from the back of the order come the first finals. The first DD2 final will be at 12:30 approximately local time here in Adria. But Mick Knowlton wins with Durante, Saban, Chopian, Seyfried and Kirschenbauer provisionally going through to the finals.